left turn off of this street, and as we took the turn, it turns out there were a bunch of construction materials staged in the left-hand lane of a two-lane city street. And the car slowed down, carefully navigated around the cones and some of the material, moved on down the street, handled a very narrow, very small roundabout very easily, proceeded forward down a steep hill, again in a narrow two-lane road that suddenly, for some reason, the city planners have put a median, about a 100-foot, 75-foot median, making our lane even smaller, but the Tesla handled that beautifully. We went past that median, took a right-hand turn, got all the way down to the next intersection, a couple of miles down the road. It made a busy intersection. It was 4 lanes going every direction. It was turning left. It made its left turn, stayed in the left-hand lane, but the left-hand lane was immediately closed. So it found an empty spot and smoothly moved over into the right-hand lane. So far, no interventions whatsoever. Lots of construction, navigated through the construction area perfectly, no interventions. And I arrived at Home Depot and the car pulled into a parking spot all by itself, no interventions. Then on the way home, it exited the hardware store parking lot perfectly. It came to a stoplight, again a busy intersection, multiple lanes, stayed in the correct lane, and once we were able to turn left, it stayed in the left lane. Lots of new markings on the road because they had just done construction there, and it handled that perfectly as well. After proceeding past a freeway overpass, it then turned on its right-hand blinker, even though there were 2 ways to turn right, and I would have wondered if it was going to take the first right, which is incorrect, but the second right follows so closely, you do need to have your blinker on. At any rate, it had the blinker on. It passed up the first turn and took the correct second turn and proceeded home and made a left turn in that difficult intersection with the narrow lanes caused by a median planting that the city had put in, and handled everything beautifully all the way home. This drive we're going to a different hardware store. We're going past a school zone here, maintain the proper speed. Again, this is a regular small town. This town got about 70,000 people in the town, 100,000 if you include the outskirts and suburbs of this college town. Now, I've seen human drivers get a little confused at this intersection up here. It's not very well designed, but Tesla handles it beautifully. It used the blinker there to take that right-hand curve. Not sure a blinker was required, but it did it anyway. Again, these are regular routine drives. I've been using FSD for a year and a half, and very few interventions. As a matter of fact, I can't even remember the last intervention I had. It does complain and yell at you. I had my grandson in the car the other day. We were fiddling with the screen. I was showing him stuff. He was showing me stuff. And if I wasn't paying attention to the road instead of the screen, the car would give me a warning. And if I ignore the warning, then it would require me to disconnect full self-driving and leave it disconnected until I brought the car to a complete stop. When that happens, you get a strikeout, what's called a strikeout. If you get 5 strikeouts, I think within a week or something like that, or I guess it doesn't matter how quickly you accumulate the 5 strikeouts. If you get 5 strikeouts, you can't use FSD for a week. And I have read that these strikeouts are cleared out of the system within a week. But what I notice is the very next day, after driving with my grandson and being distracted, the strikeouts were cleared the very next day. So it was not an issue. Again, it makes this left turn here perfectly. Change lanes to the left very smoothly. Look for a clear opportunity. And now it's moving into the right-hand lane. I think due to the flow of traffic, interesting because where we're going, is on the left side of the street. So I think it saw the traffic slowing ahead and went to move into the faster lane, but then realized it has to do this, and it's doing it fine, and it's turning into the store beautifully.